Hello everyone, Onlydraven here again, and today we're doing another tutorial in Minecraft Sky Factory 4. Today I'm going to be showing you how to automate just about anything using a simple storage network. Now, there are a lot of different types of systems and ways to auto-craft things, but if you're using a simple storage network, there's a very easy way to set up auto-crafting to make just about anything you need in the game. Now, if you find this video helpful and you like it, please be sure to click like, but most importantly, please remember to hit that subscribe button, the little bell notification. That way you'll know anytime any tutorials or videos come out. All right, so today we're going to be using a processing cable, which is from the Simple Storage mod. For that, you're going to need 4 gold nuggets, 4 storage cables, and 1 observer. We're also going to need an auto crafter, which is 4 purple dye, an observer, bone block, piston, and a crafting table. You're also, of course, going to need a simple storage system as well as filing cabinets. If you're unfamiliar how to make a simple storage or connect them to filing cabinets, I will post tutorials to that in the description of this video. You're also going to need a power source. Anything will do, anything that produces RF, so a solar network, any of the reactors, any of the generators. For this one, I'm just using a creative energy battery, but any RF source will work. Okay, so we're going to build a few things. Now, what I've done here today is I've already gone ahead inside my filing cabinet, and I put in several different files of things that we're going to work with. So as you can see, I have dirt, resin, and acorn, and a piece of dirt, gold, resin, and acorn, and a gold amber, and iron, acorn, and resin, and an iron amber. So whatever you're wanting to craft with simple storage, you will need a file for each of the components in that recipe and a file containing at least one of the items that it's going to make. So you need to have those inside your filing cabinet. I have a file for each one of those things ready to go. Now, connecting your processing cable, your auto crafter, and your lever, you'll need a lever, is pretty easy to do. The important thing to remember is there's a very specific order that you have to put these things together. So let's say that today we're going to start by using, we're going to make our gold amber. So we're going to look up the recipe for that. We are gold amber, and we can see that the recipe we're going to use is 5 resin and 4 acorns. And that makes 1 gold amber. That's important to remember. It only makes 1. So we're going to go into our simple storage. We're going to grab the 4 acorns we need. Actually going to grab 8 of those. Double what we need. Ooh, got an extra one there. And 10 resin. We're going to grab that 1 amber we've already made. Okay? So those are the 2 components we need to make it. That's the finished product. Now, if the recipe you're making makes more than 1 of something, you'll need a stack of whatever that size is. So if this recipe made 4 amber, I would need 4 amber for that. All right. The first thing you want to put down is your auto crafter. You would leave 1 space for your processing cable, but you don't want to put the processing cable on yet. Your auto crafter is what's going to need the power. Simple storage and the filing cabinets need no power source at all, which is what makes this a really great and easy way to build. The auto crafter does. Now, if you look in there, it's not going to show any power until we put in our recipe, and that's okay. We're going to go in the upper left and click always on and change that to requires redstone, and we're going to put a lever on the front. We're not going to turn that on. We need to leave that in the off state. Now, inside the auto crafter, we're then going to build our recipe. And as you can see, once I started putting items inside of there, the power filled up, so we know that it's getting RF power. So that's our recipe. 5 resin, 4 acorns. Now that we've got that set up, if it requires redstone, our lever on but off, or attached but off, and our auto crafter recipe in, now we'll connect the processing cable. Now, the processing cable can connect to any cable system in your simple storage network. You can connect it to a storage link cable, to a regular storage cable, or anything. You can do kind of both. But right now, I'm connecting it just to a storage cable. Now that that's connected, I'm going to go inside my processing cable, and on the left-hand side, I'm going to click with the amount of items I need for that recipe. As we discussed, I need 4 acorns. So I'll click with a stack of 4 acorns. Has a little 4 there. You don't have to build the recipe. You just need a stack of the correct amount. And I need 5 resin. Click with that. And there we are. Down here, you'll see it says set output on right. So this is where we want to put what that's going to make. Click with our 1 gold amber. And now it says transaction valid, which means what you've put here equals what it's going to make. If that does not say transaction valid, then either you don't have the right amount of finished product or you don't have the right recipe on the left. You do not need to click any buttons or any of these things here in the middle. All you have to do is put the recipe components and the gold amber. Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and flip on our lever. Now, when we go into our AutoCrafter, we're going to see it only pulled in one of the components that we needed. If your recipe has more than one component, it's only going to pull in the first one. You'll have to put the second one in just for the first time, and that's going to kickstart the system in. So I'm going to take my 5 resin, and as soon as I drop those, if you look on the right, you'll start seeing gold amber being produced. And there it is. It is now going to continue to craft gold amber until it runs out of acorn and resin. So we're going to go look in here, and as you can see now, I have 37 amber. I had none before. I only had the 1, and I pulled it out. And our acorn and resin has been depleted. So as you have more acorns and resin coming into your simple storage network, it will then continue to build that amber for you, which is great. If you want to automate a smeltery, you can manually take them out or even have it automatically coming out of your storage request system using an export cable. But now we've gone ahead and set that up. Now, for the amount of space this takes up, it's really, really great because you can put another one right beside it in the same fashion with a different process, and the processing cables do not connect. So you don't have to worry about them merging or anything of that nature. Let's go in here. Now we're going to make, let's say we're going to make something a little different. We're going to make some dirt, right? We'll go ahead and grab our stack of dirt, stack of resin. Let's see what our dirt recipe is. All right, so you're going to make sure you verify your dirt recipe. So again, it's 5 resin, 4 acorn, and it makes 1 piece of dirt. Okay, let's go in here and we'll grab what we need. There's our 1 piece of dirt. We're going to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because we need double the amount of acorns, and 10 resin. So that's our recipe for dirt. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Right? This is already on requires redstone. Give the lever off. We're going to go in and put in our recipe. And you'll see the power has now filled up on the right, so we know it's getting power. Put in the rest of our recipe. There we go. That's ready to go. Now we're going to connect our processing cable, and that's important. You got to do that second. And while it connects here, it doesn't affect production in any way. You don't have to separate these or worry about space. We're going to click on our processing cable, same as before. There's our 5 resin, there's our 4 acorn, there's our dirt. It says transaction is valid, which means it's ready to go. We flip on our lever, right click, and it just pulled one of them in. This time it pulled the resin, because that's the first one we put in there before. We kickstart it, boom, and now it's making dirt until it runs out of acorn and resin. There we go. So we go over here, now you'll see we have 36 dirt, and our resin and acorn have been depleted. Go ahead and put those in. The last one we're going to do is going to be iron. Right? And again, always check your recipe. Iron amber. We're going to be using, again, 5 resin, 4 acorn. Go ahead and grab our 1 resin that's already in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 acorns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, because again, you need double, because you're going to put some of these in the AutoCrafter. Now this one over here, we're going to go put it, and we're going to connect this directly to our storage link cable. So instead of connecting it to one of the gray cables that just runs your system together, we're going to connect it directly next to one of our filing cabinets. And it doesn't matter, the components do not have to match up in any way. You can put the AutoCrafter anywhere you like on this system. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific. We're going to go ahead and put our lever on, go inside. Turn that to requires redstone. And inside we're going to put our recipe. 2, 3, 4. See, it's got power. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our amber recipe. Now we're going to connect our processing cable underneath. So this one's connecting directly to our storage link cable. As long as it's connected somewhere on this network, you can connect it directly to your table, network master or request table. Connect it to any of the cables, regardless of how far away it is. You can connect it anywhere. Inside, we're going to take our 4 acorn, take our 5 resin, amber, transaction is valid, flip that on, And our acorns there, kickstart with our resin, and there we go, iron amber. So all three of the process we put together, you saw, was very, very quick to do. It was easy as long as you remember the order. You cannot connect the processing cable until you have the recipe already set inside the autocrafter. I recommend having it required redstone and your lever attached as well. Have all this autocrafter stuff done and powered before you connect your processing cable. And inside the processing cable, you put a single stack of how many of those components are needed for your recipe. You don't have to build the actual recipe. And on the right-hand side, you need to put what it's going to make in the amount that it makes. So I'll give you an example. Say you were going to make polymer. Polymer is a great one. So if you're going to make polymer, you'll see that there's multiple components here. So if I was putting this in my processing cable, I would put 1 gold, 1 iron, 1 lapis, and a stack of 4 clay. But it makes this recipe, one of these, makes 16 polymer clay. So if I was doing this recipe on the right-hand side, I would have to click with a stack of 16. Any more, any less, and it's not going to say transaction valid. The recipe stack has to match the output of that recipe. But other than that, you've got automation. And depending on how many cables you have or you want to build, you can make as many of these as you want without any extra setup. It'll make nearly everything in the game that is made in an autocrafter. Of course, there are some component things that require different fluids, different machines. Those are still possible with additional components, but for the basic crafting of the majority of blocks inside of Sky Factory 4, this is going to put that together for you. All right? And then inside your simple storage network, you've got your finished products, iron amber, gold amber, and some dirt. All right. So that is going to do it for this tutorial. If you have any questions about this one or any of my other tutorials, please be sure to put those down in the comments, and I will do my best to get back with you as quickly as I can, as well as any recommendations or suggestions you may have for other tutorials you'd like to see in Sky Factory 4. I'm always looking for new ideas. You can also go to my website, Onlydraven.com, and at the bottom of the homepage, you'll find a place you can submit questions, feedback, or recommendations via email. While you're there, you'll find my streaming schedule, links to all my tutorials and videos, link to my social media accounts, as well as you'll find the ODG store where you can get some cool Onlydraven gaming merchandise if there's something you'd like to have. There's a lot of great resources on the website. I do recommend checking it out. That is going to do us for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.